Cool off this summer with refreshing beverages, ice cream, and more delivered via Instacart in as fast as 1 hour. Plus, you can get free delivery on your first 3 orders via Instacart and have more time to grill and play. There is a minimum $10 required of each order, and terms apply. Offer is valid now through September 10th. Hello and welcome to the Whet Palette podcast. I am your host, Brenda. With me today for my next Chef Spotlight series is Chef Nunzio Fuschillo, not Fuschillo, right, like I was saying. Currently, Nunzio is an undercover superstar making waves in Broward, but he has deep Miami roots. I cannot wait to dive in. Thank you for joining me in the hot seat. Welcome, Nunzio.
Thank you, Brenda.
Thank you. We have so much to discuss. And you just brought me coffee, so I might be 1,000 miles.
I have to. I know you already talk fast, but you have to.
So listeners, I'm so sorry if I'm going 1,000 miles per hour, but it's his fault. Not
my fault.
Not mine at all. Okay, so let's start off for those who don't know you. Tell us about the road, or should I say many roads, that brought you first to Miami. Or is Miami the first United States place? Yes. Okay. Take us there.
So, it's actually only one road. It's very road. It seems very simple, but it's actually not. A lot of stars had to align to make that happen, actually.
Okay.
So I was a sous chef in a 2-Michelin star restaurant in Italy, and my wife, the owner of the restaurant where I worked in Italy, was supposed to open a restaurant in where now is the Rolex store in the not Midtown, no, next to it, where Michael Genuine is.
Design District.
Design District.
Okay.
And,
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, it was called Vino and Olio. Oh. They actually end up opening and they closed in 6 months, 6 months. At the end, it ended up being like some weird thing. But my wife never ended up working over there. Okay. So what became my wife came to do a training in Italy. We hate each other for the first 3 weeks, and then something happened.
Those feisty Cubans, man.
Exactly, those Cubans. So
Hialeah Cuban.
Hialeah Cuban, Gambia.
Yay, Patty.
So yeah, we met over there, and then at the end of that year, I left to get my first experience as a chef de cuisine in a restaurant on Lake Como. But before that, I came in vacation here to meet, to stay with her. And then we decided, why don't we just get married and come with me in Italy? We get married, we stay there, and you can be my.
And she was also starting out.
And she was in New York Culinary Institute.
Okay.
And she answered a post about going in Italy to do a training for this restaurant was opening in Miami, basically in the backyard.
Oh, shit.
So she was like, they're gonna need a pastry cook or a chef or something, and nobody applied for pastry.
Yes.
So they were looking for an experienced cook, and she applied as a basic pastry cook, and they hired her because they were like, oh, well, we're gonna need a pastry cook.
Right.
So as I said, all the stars are aligned, and she came over there. We spent 3 months together. We did the training, and then we came back here waiting for the restaurant to open, which it took obviously forever. And I was like, why don't we go in Italy? I have a position as a chef de cuisine. You can work in the same restaurant, and worst case scenario, we get married.
Worst case scenario.
And that was it. The rest is story. We get married.
How romantic.
Yeah. We lived the 3 years in Italy. We actually worked together for all the 3 years. And then we decided to try the United States out. That was 10 years ago. Now it's 10 years exactly.
Okay.
And that's it. The rest is story. I came in Miami. First job was in Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
Valentino's, which now is closed.
Stop.
Valentino's was my first job. Yeah, Giovanni. Yeah, he's a crazy guy. Yeah. It's a little crazy.
Yeah. But I did love his restaurant. I
think that restaurant it's one of the most beautiful restaurants. I like as far as structure. The kitchen was still now for a chef. It was my dream kitchen.
He opened a new place so how he left, how he closed.
He opened one door east. And then he closed both of them?
Yes, he closed everything. But you know how he closed? In like mid-service, he was like, whatever. He was like, I'm done. I'm out.
I didn't know any of this.
He had a whole
I would expect something
meltdown.
like that from him.
Right. But then now he opened, I haven't been, I think it's called Holly Blue. And
What
I don't
is
know
it?
how involved he is, but he's involved. And I haven't been because of, and I'm sure it's good, but because I just like him. And the guy who ended up being his CDC opened another restaurant, which is called Gastrotech. Or
Okay.
so if I have my history, I have to check my facts. But yeah, so something like that.
Oh,
so,
wow.
But I mean, those both come from good,
No, he was a nice human being.
Yeah.
Very much not professional, unfortunately.
No, but no, his.
Which is,
On
but
my
as a
end-
human being, I was like, I like you. Why can't you
Right,
just
why-
be better
Yeah.
at this? Or at least trust the people that are good.
Okay. I used to go a lot, and then I read a bunch of interviews that he did. So cocky, so condescending, dismissive. He was in one particular. He was dismissive of people with allergy, like legit. Just kind of like, there's the door. Like, why are you even eating out? Like, it was just
Yeah.
the delivery.
He went a little bit over his head.
Yeah, and to not to be fair to give him any credit, but at the time. That was a big, and then Fort Lauderdale at that. I mean, he had like foie, and he's doing all
That
this
place
stuff.
was,
Yeah.
but he bought, which is like where I met my very first friend in United States. Was the chef de cuisine over there, Daniel Tackett, which has been working with Scott Conrad and Marea for years. And now he has a private, like he still work with Scott Conrad, but now he's like, he has his own company. But that's where I met him, and I was like, why you bring all these passionate people from New York, from all over the world to do good food? And then when they try to steer you in the right direction, you're always, no, but that's how I want to do it. This was his biggest problem.
Okay.
So everybody ended up leaving.
Right. Yeah.
Obviously.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
And
so wow. So that was the first place you worked at?
That was
No.
my first place.
Holy shit,
And
okay.
I work over there again by mistake. Because my wife applies as a pastry chef over there, right? They read the resume, and he was at Caino, the 2 Michelin-star restaurant we met for 2 weeks, like a year before. He went over there and he asked the chef Valeria to stay there and just watch them cooking. And he did like a couple of days. So when he read the name Caino, he was like, oh my God, I know this place. And my wife was like, oh, my husband was the sous chef over there. And he's like, oh, I may saw him when I was there because they here met. And that's how I met Giovanni, which was the owner. And I was like, listen, if you need help to make some pasta, I can help you out.
Yeah.
And then he called me one day, and then from then on was a 6-day job on salary. Like I was like, okay, I guess I have a job.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how it started.
Talk about the universe sending you clues and you being
Isn't it
you
crazy?
following through. 'Cause
Isn't it
sometimes,
crazy?
I mean, I read about that, right? Like the
Star
universe
has-
is sending you stuff, and we keep ignoring the signs. And here you are.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not ignoring them. You were following them. You're good.
I mean, me and you, we have a star like this.
That's-
I was one of the first. I mean, I don't want to say something ridiculous, but
No.
as soon as the Whet Palette started, the Bocce restaurant was one of the few first place. I
Yeah.
remember you exactly.
Yeah.
I was like, I remember the interview we did, and then when I moved here, when I moved in Broward County, I was like, oh my God, I do remember her.
It's me.
And now we're here again, 10
It's
years
me.
later,
And I
9
went
years later.
Well, let's get to Bocce because
Yeah.
that was one of our favorite spots, and Larry still talks, about the beet
Ravioli.
ravioli. See, had you walked in today?
My first customer in Broward County was Brenda, and she asked me to make ravioli in the
That's
coffee
right.
shop.
That's right.
I did it.
That's
Guess
right.
what?
I'm like, but it's Nunzio, and you're in Broward, where like it was Larry's birthday.
Yeah. Yes.
It was Larry's birthday, and our friends were hosting, and they said, "Who can we cater with?" And I was like, "Well, you had the catering company. What was it called?
Yeah, two chefs are better than one.
2 chefs are better than one, right?"
It was me and my
so
wife,
I
yeah.
had the menu. So to be fair, I wasn't just reaching out. You guys had an actual menu.
Yeah,
and
we did.
You were doing a catering. So
Yeah.
it was your birthday, and my girlfriend said we want to treat Larry, and they were hosting at home. What can we do? I was like, well, he does like beet ravioli, and you had just started this catering.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Yeah, that was amazing.
That's awesome. It was. I mean, he was so happy. He didn't expect that. That was really great. Okay, so Valentino's.
And then
So she started working there too as pastry? No.
over there, yeah, she worked as a
Okay.
pastry cook, and then she she went to Michael Janin.
I
So
think I
her
missed that
story
part.
went
Okay.
from, because we were living in Hollywood.
Right.
So she worked for Valentino's. She has a lot less patience than me to deal with people like
Shocker.
Giovanni.
Yeah.
So she was like, guess what? I don't like it, I'm leaving.
Good for her.
And she worked with Hedy Goldsmith.
Funny that
Michael
you started Broward and now you're back in Broward.
Yeah, Broward. I always liked Broward.
You
I
did?
have to be honest. Miami is not my... No, I'm a quiet person. Okay. I like quiet. Miami is too crowded
for me. It is, you're right. I mean,
it's
I like it here to live. But I like to dine in Miami, obviously.
Of course, yes.
Okay, so she was with Hedy Goldsmith.
So she went to Michael's, and I went to Boccia after 7 months.
Okay, I didn't realize
they offered me a sous chef position at
But
Boccia.
I didn't meet her until Bourbon.
Yeah, you didn't meet her until Bourbon.
I didn't, and when she left Bourbon, I did a riot. I mean, I rioted. I was like, they kept bringing me. They were like, Brenda, we want to introduce you to our new pastry chef, and I was like, no. I want Patty.
Yeah,
I want Patty.
Yeah, life.
I know.
We evolve.
I know, of course.
So
but yeah,
I went to Boccia as a sous chef for like 6 months. They had a chef. Timon was the executive chef. Was the corporate chef. Yeah, executive chef.
I didn't realize
he was
that
doing
they were
sugarcane.
Because
sugarcane and Boccia, they're the same company.
So for those of you who don't know, back then Midtown had just gotten off the ground, and it was only sugarcane, bocce. What was the Mexican one?
It was actually sugarcane. There was a Mexican place, and I can't remember the name. There was
that one Mendy?
Salumeria 104.
That's still there.
That's still there. And there was, what was the name of the barbecue place on the other side of Salumeria?
I don't remember, but it was
Sakaya Kitchen, something like that.
Oh yeah, yes.
It was there
in the corner.
So the only successful places were always Salumeria, Sugarcane, Sakaya, and then Sugarcane opened Boccia.
Brunch. That place.
Sakaya had a good brunch, and Salumeria is always solid.
But that was it. It was kind of dead. It was dead, and if you went before,
and nothing survived. Everything opened and closed.
I mean, Sugarcane's kind of still there, but Salumeria is still there, but on the other side.
As I said, the only place then where really. They have a stable customers was Salumeria and Sugarcane crushed it.
Sugarcane, yeah, they
Sugarcane,
crushed it.
when they opened something and didn't exist.
I went to the Kobaya dinner at Bocce with Sugarcane.
Yes.
So it was Baloo's thing, but it was at Bocce.
It was a Bocce. It was
at Sugarcane. That's weird.
Because it was a Bocce dinner, but since Timon was still the executive chef over there.
Okay.
Yeah, and then when my best friend Dan, the one that I met the Valentinos, look out.
The one that was the executive chef.
The owner of the Sugarcane brand always want Dan to run one of his places. But Dan was doing a consulting. Dan is my friend in New York. And so they were like, okay, so help me out with this Boccia place. Something is wrong. And I was the sous chef. So he came there and was like, Boccia, but you have the solution in your pocket. Nunzio is your guy.
Yeah.
It's like, why do you
I thought to me, Boccia is you.
Why you guys don't make
Bocce.
Nunzio the chef and start to run with it?
Yeah.
So he came and he was my shield. So it was like, just have fun. And we changed 17 dishes in one day.
It was so good.
Flipped the whole menu up.
It was so good.
Yeah.
Why did that close? I don't remember.
The place was really good. I think we had some of the best food over there.
You did.
It was tasty.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, we're talking now, 2013?
20 now 2023. I was there 2014.
14, okay.
The place was open from 8 months, I think. I didn't open it. It was already open 5 or 6 months. I don't remember how long exactly. I don't have my number right. Maybe I might write my number wrong, but it wasn't even a year open when I started there as a sous chef. And then 5 months later, with the help of Dan came, took Timon place as executive chef for a 6 months period. Mm-hmm. And so he made the change. He fired the chef. I became the chef de cuisine. And he was like, let's just do whatever the hell we like.
In remembering the plates, those are plates and dishes that I think would even stand now. They were that good.
There's some dishes.
Yeah, they were that strong.
And even
back then. Maybe that's what it was. It was too much for Miami at the time.
This is our our trend was so way up. So we were we went from 1 star from Evan Ben, 1.5 star from Evan Ben, to 3 star. We were the only one with proof from Justin Flick. We were the only 2-3 star from Evan Ben when Evan Ben was the guy that Evan Ben actually crushed it. Yes.
We need you back, Evan. Come back,
please. But yeah, we were doing really good, and then honestly, I didn't left for any bad reason. I left because I thought my time was up.
Okay.
You know when you are like running out of like a fire.
Yeah.
And also I built a crew, and now they're all executive successful chef. One of my chefs is in San Francisco, who worked from Mandolin, Jan. Another of my sous chef is in Brazil. He married my Brazilian pastry chef. They married, they moved in Brazil. They opened their own business. They do vegan burger, takeout. Like, you know, like they're all the people then we built over there, it was a really strong team. So I was like, well, my time is up. I want to do my own thing.
Okay. So you leave Bocci and then?
Yeah, I left Bocci to open Two Chefs Are Better Than One.
Okay.
With my wife.
And that's when we intersect. Okay, got it.
And yeah, then we had Two Chefs Are Better Than One for like a year and a half. It was doing good, but you know, then we had a baby. You need more stable income, blah blah blah, and the whole. As I say, we evolve.
And yeah, she was at Bourbon for a little bit.
She was at Bourbon for 3 years.
Yeah.
She left right before the expansion, because right before the expansion they had to shrink everything down because they had to close half of the hotel. So and she was pregnant, like she was 9 months pregnant. So she was like, they offer her like a position like as a director, pastry, like they want her there, but just life was just too complicated.
You're both so talented because. What I love about you both is that you have this like something in the hand, like you have the touch. It's not just about making pastries, it's not just about making pasta, just about making croissants. There's that.
The devil is in the detail, Brenda.
There's that little touch. There's that thing in it that makes you take a bite and say, like this is good. You know, versus you know how many croissants? I mean, you can have 1,000, you can have pasta, but
it's okay. If I can explain it technically, it's we and I put my wife into that because she's even worse than me. If it's not perfect, it's not coming out. I can deal with something, but we know our limit, and we only do what we are sure then it's our fully potential. Like if I can make a croissant better than this, I won't sell this one. I will make the good one and then I'll sell. If I can make ravioli better than this, I'll wait until I know exactly how it has to come out. And this is just passion. You can't teach that.
Maybe that's what it is.
You can't teach that.
The secret ingredient is the passion and the love.
Yeah, the love you put in the food, it comes from how much you care for it. If you care for what you cook, it's gonna show. Then people can like it or not, but it shows. Okay,
so let's go back. So because some of our listeners don't even know where we're going from here. Why am I talking about croissants? So, So Two Chefs
Are Better Than One.
Yeah, Better Than One, and then
from then I did a 1 year consulting chef in Palm Beach.
Oh no, and you were also at Ariette.
I went in Palm Beach. I did 1 year.
Nave.
I just don't like that area.
Right.
So when Mike called me from Ariette, he asked me a question. He was like, "Do you know an Italian chef as good as you?" And I said, am I answering Mike, my friend, or do I have to be honest? It's like, oh yeah, you know how the hell I talk. I was like, well, no.
No.
And he's like, I knew you would say that.
Right.
So he asked me to go there.
That's right.
And, you know, I told Patty, I was like, I will say no to anybody else.
Right.
But if Mike call, I'll go because I like him.
And that was for Nave, right?
That was That was waiting for Nave to open. So we opened Legna. I worked for like a couple of weeks at Ariette. I helped out a little bit at Ariette. And then we opened Nave.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then from there?
With Justin. So it was a good reunion.
Yeah. Right, with Justin again.
With Justin. I knew about him. I met him. I ate your pizza, but we were never...
Okay.
Never had a coffee together, you know?
Right.
But I knew about him. And I always liked it. Mm-hmm. So when I went there, it was a good reunion.
Yeah.
I mean, I was at the opening of Ariette. It's my birthday, January 15.
Okay.
And I was there for the friend and family the first day. So Mike and I were going back so much especially with Patty, because Patty works on Michael Jenny and Mike with Cybersroom.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
That's
right.
as you say,
web.
it's all a web. But yeah, well,
That's
like
funny.
I love that place. I love those walls. I love Mike. I love everything that is in there.
Those are
and
definitely special.
He knows.
It's one of my favorites. So then from there.
And then from there,
back to Broward.
yeah, I mean, COVID start.
Oh, that's right.
And we had this. My wife actually find this the place where we are now. Mm-hmm. She find it, and with COVID, honestly, I didn't get kicked out. I didn't get pushed out or nothing, and I want to make that very clear because Mike was really nice with me about that.
Mike was nice. Did you just use Mike and nice in the same sentence?
It's in his
I love you, Mike. Just kidding.
In his deep profound, it's really
it's in there.
He's a really good heart.
It's very, very, very deep in there. I kid.
But no, but I didn't want our friendship to interfere with business.
Yeah.
So since I had this opportunity, I was like, before you do any cut, I wanted to let you know. Then if that goes well, maybe in 4 or 5 months I won't be here. So I don't want you to cut somebody else to keep me because you want me here,
right?
And then I'm leaving you.
Yeah.
And it was a very straight conversation, and then this thing happened, and we moved in Broward.
So tell everyone what it is that you are doing in Broward.
In Broward, we are doing Effe Cafe. Effe Cafe is just literally whatever we always liked. We like good breakfast. My wife loves good breakfast. I like to cook good food, and it's just like really much coming from our soul. It started as an experiment. We moved there because that was what's up. There was nothing else.
Tell everyone what there is.
There is in Cooper City, 10295 Cooper City on Sterling Road. It's in a gas station.
Dun dun dun.
Yep. So honestly, we went there. We saw the space. I saw an oven. I saw little hoods on the oven, and enough space to put a plancha. I was like, I can make it happen. Like it just popped in my brain. I was like, we can do this, we can do that, we can do that. Mm-hmm. And that's how we start. And we walked our way out from just like a couple of sandwich. Now we have like 10 sandwich, we have lunch, we have vegan option, vegetarian option. Like, we did what we really thought would stick. Because at the beginning we were about to make the mistake to lower the bar in order to make a living. Mm-hmm. And I was like, no, this is just not us.
In the famous words of a Broward chef who once told me, he had to dumb down the menu for Broward. That's a direct quote, but you didn't do that.
No,
you didn't necessarily do that.
I mean, what we did, obviously when you go in a gas station, you don't expect freshly baked, daily baked sourdough bread.
And we need to get into that.
Like the one that we have.
Yeah.
And there was a little bit of people were like, wait a second, I want an empanada. And it's okay.
Right.
I'm all about getting the $1 empanada. I get a $1 empanada this morning for breakfast in the gas station right behind me. Mm-hmm. But that was not what we want to do.
Right.
Like at all. I was like, no, I'm not going to make empanada.
I'm sure you would make a kick-ass empanada.
If I make it myself, I got to charge $5 for an empanada. Nobody's going to buy it. Right. So
maybe now.
Now, maybe. Mm-hmm. But so we open trying to do like a midway between what we want to do and what people want and the price range. And then we saw that it wasn't working.
There's definitely a learning curve in that, especially in that area. But let's go back a little more. So Effe, E-F-F-E, what is that? Why Effe?
My dad has a construction business in Italy, and it's called Edil Effe. Effe is the pronunciation of the letter F in Italian.
Effe,
that's how you pronounce it.
Too,
exactly,
right?
in Spanish too. So since my dad, his first name and now last name, both
Fuschillo,
with F. Fuschillo, my dad is Fuschillo Felice, so FF. And his brother, which is the partner in his company, it's Fuschillo Francesco. So they call their company Edil Effe.
Effe, okay.
And so I was like, if I ever got a spot, I would like to, it was like, they did a lot for me.
Yeah.
My dad
honor them.
And, I took a lot from them. I took my mom from the only boy I came over here, I left her over there. So I was like, it has to have a meaning. And then it sounds great. I was like, oh, wait a second, Effe Cafe, that sounds catchy.
Right.
We do that.
So from my perspective, so you open here, but then you become, and you still are, from my eyes and all of us that love you guys so much, it's like a cult following. Like it's a thing. Like you post something, and it's all driven by just simple Instagram posts, no paid promoted posts, just wholesome organic reach.
I can always say, like I don't remember how many followers we had. It's like probably a little over 1,000, but 900 of those I know them by name. I know what they want. It's like incredible. It's like crazy,
right? And that is, it's quality, not just let's just have like 10,000 followers just to have whatever.
Yeah,
like,
honestly, what it actually made the change for us, because I don't think we would be here having this conversation about Effe now, because it was not doing good, honestly, because we opened and it was a concept that didn't really match.
Right.
Not even a gas station, but that gas station, like, which at the time it was another ownership, and it was terrible.
And it's suburbia, Cooper City.
Oh my God, it had such a bad reputation. I was like, where are we getting into it here?
No, the area is a good area. But
the area is amazing.
The area is amazing.
People hate that gas station when it was the first time we signed with the old owner. They hate that gas station.
Yeah.
They hate the people that run it. They hate everything about it. And Cooper City is very tight. If they love you, they will love you. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Clearly.
But you gotta be honest, which is something that I always say. When you do something, do it honestly. If you know that you're tricking somebody, that's not karma. That's just like not right. So sooner or later,
it's gonna bite you in the ass.
But if you are honest, and people of Cooper City, if you're honest and you like, and they like you, they will like you, and they will tell people to like you. But if they don't like you, you're done.
It's been word of mouth.
You're done.
But you said I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for...
Because I believe it was even your post and another, the Hungry Fork post.
Hungry Post?
Hungry Post.
The Hungry Post.
Yes.
Is it? I don't know.
Hungry Fork. It's another blogger.
Okay.
So she made a post.
I think there's also the Hungry
Then
Fork.
you saw it.
Okay.
And then the Sun Sentinel followed her. Mm-hmm. And the Sun Sentinel was like, wait a second, I like that story. Can we make a story about it?
Right.
And they did like a half a page or something.
That's so awesome.
A little color.
Yeah.
And it's unbelievable how many people still read the paper.
Yeah.
Because by the time the guys was texting me that the paper was out, I had 5 people in line. And I was like, I never had 5 people in line. What is going on here?
Now you always have 5 people in line.
Now we have 5 people in line.
Yeah.
So now it's another surprise to have 5 people in line. But at the time I was like, what is that? And then I looked at my phone.
That's happening.
And from then on, people start to try our food.
Right.
And as I always say, all we need is them to try it once.
Right.
And they'll be happy to pay an extra $1 for a good
and come back for it. And
that works.
And I love it because you'll post, so like Friday is stuffed croissant, Friday. So like you'll announce it, and then we're all texting each other.
Yes.
Right? So my friends and I are like, I'm like, well, I can't make it, but can you pick one up for me? And this is true. Can you pick one up for me and then give it to me the next day so that so we're all like fighting, because then you post like an hour later, oh sorry, we're sold out. I'm like, no, especially the guava and
the guava and brie, like I just can't make enough because
I know, but that's good. Keep it like that.
Just can't make enough, and it's good because it's special.
It is special,
and it should stay special. Like it just I like the fact that people like are waiting for us. I have a lot of customers, and I know what time they call, and as soon as the phone ring, I know what they want.
That's
and
awesome.
this is amazing.
I love that, and crazy. I love sometimes I'll be there and I'm in line and I'll run into someone I know. I'm like, hey, how are you?
And it becomes like.
The whole social thing.
And the crazy thing that all this is in a gas station.
In a gas station.
It's not a single chair to sit.
Right.
There is like a convenience store behind you with like all kind of crap on it.
I know.
And there's these people like talking about like, oh, I get the croissant like this, or you get it like this. And I'm like, this is...
The other day,
sometimes I turn around and I'm like...
You're like, okay, people go. You need to go.
What is this? What is this?
But that's so awesome.
It's crazy.
The other day I picked up something and I left to eat it because on my next drive and Larry stayed. And he was eating it like standing up while talking to you.
Yeah, Larry comes and they're like...
The family affair,
You know just what I'm saying? Like he comes, we talk. Another person comes, we talk. Sometimes I'm there on Monday when I'm prepping, and I know that there is a couple customers that now became friends. They're in the corner. I'm not open on Monday because we're closed on Monday, but I'm always there prepping.
Of course. Oh, you just gave your secret away. Now people are going to show up on Monday when they hear this.
Monday is the actually day that we had to close. We tried to be open on Monday too, but we couldn't catch up with production. But you're closed on Sunday. So we closed Sunday and Monday. Sunday's for the family.
No,
Sunday,
you need, of course.
I go there.
Because you need a breather.
I don't even pass by.
Yeah.
But on Monday, I'm there from 6 a.m. So sometimes I text.
You're not there from 6 a.m. You're there from 4:30 a.m. having cafecito.
On Monday at 6.
Oh, Monday 6.
I take an extra hour.
If we follow him on Instagram, you see him posting at 4:30. He's like, the first coffee of the day.
Yeah. And sometimes it's not like, sometimes there is no audio because I can barely talk.
Oh, but that and the coffee too is so special. The coffee is so good.
Yeah, the coffee is like a whole nother story. The Kimbo brand, it's like maybe 10 kilometers from where I lived in Naples. There was the Kimbo factory. I smelled that coffee. My mom made that coffee for me since I was 10 years old, the cafe con leche before I go to school. I love that coffee. And it wasn't here until, I believe, 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And then the company that used to carry Lavazza, they cut the deal with Lavazza and they made a new deal with Kimbo. So I thought I signed for Lavazza because first time we opened, we signed with Lavazza. And then when we reopened and I called him again, I was like, okay, whatever, it's going to be Lavazza. And it was Kimbo, and he's like, "Is that okay?" I'm like, "Is that okay?"
Oh, you're like, "This is
great,
better. That's awesome.
It's amazing."
Tell us what happened. So you opened, and then you had to close.
Yeah, we opened and we did a 6+6 deal, 6 months plus 6 months because it was in the middle of COVID, like literally the highest hit of COVID. So we were like, we don't know what's gonna happen, and we don't know who we signed with. We literally went in this blank because I was like, this is all we got.
Yeah.
We gotta make a living. We gotta squeeze a living out of this place. So whatever. So we did 6+6. After 4 weeks, the Sun Sentinel article, came out and we started to do good. The greedy owner of the old greedy owner of the gas station wants a cut of the cake without putting any in there. I was like, listen, I don't cut deal with the devil.
Yeah.
If I have to, I'll go back to work somewhere else.
Right.
But this is mine. I built Effe. I don't want anybody to take Effe from me like this.
Yeah.
So they went for another. They were like, okay, so as soon as the second 6 months are up, we take our part. We part. And they went for a different concept in there, which I don't think it worked out. And then the gas station actually had to change ownership because it wasn't doing good. And the guy then took the gas station. One of the cashiers that worked in that gas station became a partner with the new owner. And he was like, if you open here, you need to get back. You need to get Nunzio back in here. This is like, I mean, I think honestly, basically they did because their biggest project at the beginning, they were like, if we reopen, we need to gain reputation. And Nunzio is the fastest way to get there. And so they called me. They were like, we would like to have you back, blah, blah, blah. And it was like, well, if the number match, I would like to do it.
That was such great news for us.
I was very happy. It was honestly like, go back over there. I was on a very downhill after we closed there.
Well, you guys were looking for something. And
we looked for...
We were all on Effe Watch. What's
everybody.
Going on?
I had people text me, have you seen that location? Have you seen that location?
Right.
Have you seen that location?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's not as easy as it seems.
Of course not.
Yeah, you need capitals, investors, blah blah blah. And for a person like me and my wife, we if I have to find an investor, it has to be a person that believes in food, not in me. Has to believe in the food that I make.
Right.
I don't want somebody that is trying just to flip a house. You know what I'm saying? I want somebody that believes in the project, and those are very hard to find. And very hard to try, obviously, because you're getting into a marriage. So we had a couple of people approaching us. We didn't like it. We stepped back. I always say, when the time is right, it will happen. If it doesn't happen, it means the time is not right. So we were looking around, and then they called us, and we came back. And
this concept works for you too, because it's early hours, but you finished.
This was one of the reasons why we did it. I was like, and I gotta be honest with you, as much I miss working sometimes on a Saturday busy night because chefs, we're crazy. We like that stuff.
Yeah.
If you're not crazy, you can't do it.
You can't do it. Yeah.
So we like this. Sometimes I do miss it, But which, Mike, if you're listening to me, I would like to expo one night with you. Don't tell my wife. Hopefully she doesn't.
Wait. Can we? Like, I'm involving myself now. I'm like,
can we do it all together?
I'm like, wait. How about like an Effe area collaboration thing?
No.
Like,
I didn't have chance to talk to Mike in the recent time, but I have a couple of ideas for you.
Ooh, bring the 954 to the 305.
But no, yeah. I mean, one of the reasons why we decided to do that also was because I have 2 kids.
Right.
And
thank you for getting back on topic.
I am a very much of a family person.
Yes.
I always want a family. I like a family, and I want to spend time with my family. And I know for sure then being a chef, if I have to be a chef, I want to be there 14 hours a day. I have to be there on Saturday night. I have to be there every time that the restaurant is busy. So if I cannot give that, it's not fair to whoever is hiring me as a chef to do that. So that's why I stepped out of that. I was like, that's not fair anymore.
Yeah, it's the OCD, the passion, the putting everything into it.
I'm going to be there, and then I'm going to be frustrated because I knew that if I stayed an extra hour, I couldn't make a dish better. Knowing how I am, sick as I am, I wouldn't sleep at night. So I was like, let me just step out of it, and maybe I can find a way to work lunch and breakfast. For me, waking up at 4:30, it's hard, but it's not as hard as not being able to do what you really want to do because you want to go home to your kids.
Right.
And I'm not willing to give up my kids either. So
yeah.
So this match a little bit better our time.
Yeah.
Still hard, but
it's hard, but who knows? And maybe by the time they graduate high school or stuff, or they're getting close, now you have a different kind of freedom, and then now you could be like,
yes.
Maybe you're burned out about something, and then you know this, and then go into full time something else. I mean, who knows?
Yeah. No.
At this point, the way the stars are aligning, this is good for you.
This is one thing that I learned 10 years ago when I met my wife. I'm like, I never thought I would move on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
Speaking 3 languages, which I hated. I only speak Italian. As 95% of the Italian, we only speak Italian, and that's it. But I'm like, I'm living on the other side of the world, and I'm okay with it. Like, I love it.
Right.
I was like, who would have thought?
How is from your perspective, how is South Florida different now than when you came the first time?
Oh my God, it's like day and night. Honestly, my curriculum helped me. Actually, my very first interview, my first job was Valentino, but my first interview came a week after I came down from the airplane, and it was the only place that I sent a few resume around, and the one that answered me first was Bourbon Steak. And I went for an interview. They offered me the job and everything.
Yeah.
I was supposed to work over there. And then, but then Valentino's called me, and honestly, Gabe, the chef of Bourbon Steak, he was so nice. He was like, listen,
he's so awesome.
He's amazing. Listen, if somebody will offer me a job in Italy, in an American restaurant where everybody speaks English, no matter what, I will go. Yeah. But just knew that every time you're looking for a job,
we're here.
You gotta call.
That is wonderful. I'm not surprised to hear that.
Yeah, that was Bourbon Steak was my first interview, and I was like, where am I?
Yeah.
This place is huge.
Yeah.
This place is like way too big for me. Everything is big. Everything is fast. And Gabe looked like a crazy person.
Help me, yes.
He's like running around. He's like, I was like, oh my God, where am I? It was overwhelming. So Valentino's came to rescue.
Significant. That's like the lobby of Bourbon Steak. The size of the lobby.
Yeah, exactly. When I went to Bourbon Steak, I'm like, they have walkie to talk to each other. You know how big is that kitchen? Like, I couldn't believe it.
And at the time, that kitchen was like Mecca.
Yeah. No, it was like but my resume always helped me. Going back to how Miami was, my resume always helped me because I always been in touch with like people that even 10 years ago were like already people that wants to make Miami better, or were already in the process of making the South Florida better. So I was lucky enough, but I looked around and it was very little
at the time. Yeah. And what do you think makes us special, or what are our strengths as far like South Florida?
I think what South Florida has is then, and especially like Miami has this big metropolis mindset, and there's so many different variety of people, and you can really make something special with that. Taking the flavor of one person, one country, the technique of another one, the texture, mix it up. I think that's the biggest ingredient to make something cool. That's why you may laugh at this, but I always said, and I keep repeating, if I ever open a restaurant, which now I see it very difficult, I probably open a coffee shop. If I
a cafe,
my next stop is to open a coffee shop,
spot.
not a restaurant. But I always said to my house, like, I'm never gonna call my restaurant Italian. Never.
Got it, right.
Because you're closing yourself in a box. You open an Italian place, and then you gotta have the veal parm.
Right.
You gotta have the chicken scallopini, and you have to.
Right.
Because that's what people expect.
And fettuccine Alfredo, yeah.
And why do that in a place like Miami where you can do like whatever you want?
Right. Well, like Boyardee. Like, people are like, oh, it's Italian, but they're not really Italian. They just happen to have a lot of good pasta on the menu, but they're not Italian.
No, but actually they make some dishes then when you go in Italy, you find it in a trattoria.
Right, but they're not calling themselves Italian, is what I mean.
Exactly. Right. You don't
you
don't call yourself Italian, because if you call yourself Italian, it's like you're killing yourself.
Yeah.
And because people expect a certain thing, and a lot of people don't know that we don't eat chicken breast in Italy.
Right.
So when I see all those menu of Italian places with chicken scallopini, chicken marsala, chicken this, chicken
marsala.
that, I'm like, who the hell eats all this chicken? We don't eat chicken.
Olive Garden.
Yeah.
Wow. So what makes us
I think
special?
I think is the fact that Miami has.
Do you think we have enough variety? Are we executing on that variety, or you think it's coming? Or
it's coming. There's a lot of places that are doing it. But what I think is that now you start to build a road where people can get on it. You know, the people that really want to do high quality food, now they have a little bit of road. It's still building, but there is at least a way that you're like, oh, do I go this way or do I go that way? Before it was so confusing, and you can find a place like Boccia. We were making fresh pasta every day. We were serving warm bread to every single table.
Doing the mozzarella. I remember
we were doing the hand pulled mozzarella.
Yeah. I went to an event and you guys were doing that outside.
We had the cod croquette made with a whipped extra virgin olive oil with cod, which is a Venetian dish from Veneto. It's so authentic in Italy. You find it everywhere, but you don't find it here. And it was made that way, like the exactly way. And still, Boccia was like in the, because you lose it when it's like
a little bit ahead of its time too. A lot of
it's difficult to find the needle in the haystack. But if there is like a section dedicated to the needle, then you already know I'm going that section. There's a good chance that I find a needle. So that's what it makes. That's what I think Miami is now. It's going there. It's going that direction. There's a lot of road to build. Yeah, a lot of road to build. But at least now we're having, like, we talked about this. Now we're having conversation about, which is great.
Let's talk about the Michelin Guide. I know we've had lively discussions over this, over espresso, because we're both passionate about it. And you have, as you mentioned, experience in fine dining and starred Italian kitchens. What are your thoughts on this Miami arrival?
I think it was, however it arrived, I'm happy it arrived. First of all, let's put that clear. It was well needed, and for most of the places that are being mentioned, at least the first year, it was well deserved. Like you need a gratification. People need to, living in that world is crazy. I lived in that world for like years, and it's like a mindset.
The one you were there was two?
The one where I was two from 20 years. She was best chef in Europe for like a lot of years. Like where I was, they mentioned her multiple times and she could have the third one, but the logistic wasn't there. They were like, listen, you can never reach there. But the food is, she is like one of the most loved chef in Italy. But the mindset then a place like this needs, and the mindset then, this is the mindset that you need to work in those kind of places. It's completely different from any other place, like completely different. When I was in Italy, the restaurant, the Caino, the restaurant where I met my wife, she had 9 tables. We don't flip table, never. It was very rare. Like literally, somebody then walked in at 7, which is impossible in Italy. Nobody comes to eat at 7, and then you have time by 9. If somebody else walk in, you flip it. But this is where the mentality goes. We do only 9 tables. We do it right.
Right.
Nobody leaves this place unhappy.
You sit, you enjoy. It's a leisure thing.
2-hour meal.
Yes, that's a hard concept.
7, 8, 10 courses. So obviously, you're talking about in Italy. You're talking about Europe. It's different. I can understand that the South Florida concept of a Michelin star can be a little bit different, but the food that you put in the plate, it has to be at a certain level. In order to be there, you need a mindset that is like completely different. Like if you think that chefs are crazy, Michelin star chefs are like nuts, like completely nuts, and they have to be that way. Like it makes completely sense. And because they're the one that will guide any cook that walked in there, then there is like one way only. Like the chef, Valeria, the chef that I work in Italy, she always say there is 2 ways to do stuff. The right way and my way. They're always the same. So do it right.
So just do it.
So do it right.
Right.
And this is how it is.
So we get the guide. First time, announce the restaurants.
I was happy. I was happy for most of the place than we're in there. Honestly, since I moved in Broward County, I didn't have a lot of chance to go out and eat in this place.
Right, try a lot of them.
But I know by fact that some of them deserve it. And, again, it's like, it's good to have this.
I feel like it is good,
It's good to have this, and we don't need to, like, I don't think people that own those restaurants, they should be still open-minded about the fact that there's a lot of work to do. But what they did is amazing. Like they bought here something that didn't exist. So obviously now it's a moving pot, it's a boiling pot, and it needs time to settle.
Yes,
but
I think like everyone's like antsy for like to move up and a 2 and a 3, and it's like, okay,
no,
not. It's gonna
you
be a
don't
little
get
bit.
there like this,
right? I agree.
You don't get there like this. Yeah. It's like a 1 in a million. Then literally has the fact to be like 1 and 2 right away. Like you've been at Reale Casadonna in Italy, right? That place, he went from his dad has a restaurant. He took.
I call that a cerebral meal. It was like an education. Like,
crazy.
What is happening right now?
The guy's a little talking about crazy people.
Yeah.
So,
but he's not trend setting, but I mean he is doing, executing, but teaching. He's not just making it's a pasta. No, he's he's elevating.
He's elevating.
Food. We have nothing like that. I mean, in Miami.
He has a school. Right?
Right, that too, yeah.
And a lot of the people that come out from his school, they open Michelin star restaurant.
Yeah.
As I say, it's a mindset. You go there, you don't go there like you go to the greatest culinary school in the United States. It's nothing compared with one of those places.
Right.
Or back in the time when Gualtiero Marchesi, which was the one that bought the Nouvelle Cuisine in Italy, the one that actually started the whole thing, he has a school. I think he still has it. I don't want to say something crazy. But this school was Alma, and all 2 and 3 Michelin star chefs, they were going there. I went there teaching a lesson, like helping my chef to teach a lesson over there. People go there, they spend like so much money, then you can't go there and be like, I do 6 months here and that's it. No, right. You spend 20-30 grand to have the best teacher to come and teach you. That's not to teach you how to make the dish. The dish is the last thing. It's to teach you how you get there. How do you think in order to get there? What's your thought behind?
Dinner, there's a whole experience. Because the dinner, there's a whole experience, a location. Where it is, getting there. We were lucky enough to stay overnight. So we got the whole, and then the brunch the next day is included, which is a whole.
Yeah, it's another.
It's not a little omelet and
no
and pancakes. It's a whole thing. It's a very
the experience
special.
It makes the difference.
I would love a place like that, and we don't even have a place like that. And you know, I feel like I feel strongly that we have great 2s and 3s in the United States. Mm-hmm. Miami's not there yet, but a place like Reale in the United States would be like epic. I mean, we have like a Blue Hill, you know, that they have the experience of like it's remote, and you know they're kind of close, you know, to something like that.
It's again, like it's also a different society. Like here in the United States, it's run.
Yeah,
you gotta look at the bill. A lot of those places in Italy have 2 and 3 Michelin star. They own the building. They don't pay rent.
Right.
That's important.
That is important.
Because
you're not
it's
at the mercy
easier
of
to
someone
turn
else.
around customers because they want something different than what you want to do when you don't have the rent to pay. It still hurts, but it's easier. This is something like then you have to put in
What
place.
do you think it will take for Miami to have I'm not even going to say a 3 because I don't think we're like 10 years away from a 3, but like a 2. What would it take here? And I'm not talking just because I think we do have some talented chefs that can get there, but it's more than the talent. It's about that. It's.
I think I think it's gonna take. I think the time span that it's gonna take. It doesn't depend from the chef. I think the chef that we have that can execute a 2 Michelin star, 2 Michelin star worth dishes.
Right.
And wait. I'm not an expert, I'm not the judge.
No, but
I can say from where I ate in Europe, mostly from where I ate, from where I work. So I can tell you if something can be like, and then I can like it, and maybe it's a terrible dish,
right?
But I cannot like it. So I'm not putting myself in the judging position. But what I'm saying is like then the talent is there of the chef, and the talent there is probably like the talent from the people that are behind too, like to support that. Mm-hmm. What we are missing is the mindset of the people that work in those places. As you said, it's not just the food. You can put a 2 Michelin star dish in front of me.
Right.
The fork is not there. The water was not there in time. All this affect
the whole package.
Final product get affected by this.
I agree.
So I think then the time then it will take us from 1 Michelin to 2 and a 3. It will depend how long it takes for people to understand that being a server is not just something that you do while you want to become an actor. It's actually a job, and you can make a career out of it.
And on the heels of that, even though Michelin, you know, they say it till they're blue in the face that it doesn't have anything to do with anything other than food. We're all
we all know it's not true.
It's BS. it is BS because the one I like to look when I talk about this, and I talk about this a lot, obviously, with friends and, you know, industry, not industry, but I can only look at facts, right? So the facts are of the 2s and the 3s that have died. Of course, the food. But what are the things that make them alike that are different from the ones? The ones to me are like a wild, wild west. They're all over the place. You have all these different restaurants, more upscale, more casual. It's crazy. But when you get to the 2s and 3s, I'm talking now United States, there are facts. There are things that I can look at, like what you were saying. That fork is there. And that fork is perfectly aligned with the other knife and the plate and everything. And that's a fact. That's not my opinion. It is a fact.
It's a fact, yeah.
That I have never been there. Well, there's a fact except one. There's one exception, and that is Momofuku Ko. They do whatever the hell they want. So I don't know how they got away with that, but because they just throw the duck on the plate. There's no rhyme or reason about Momofuku Ko. They're just whatever. But everybody else had been. Everybody else working their ass off to place that fork in the right place.
But it is
the service is. I mean, service is great at Ko, but it's not formal or it doesn't have to be formal, which is another misconception. But
exactly, this is a big misconception. People think that because you're going to 2 Michelin star,
it has to be fancy and frou-frou.
It has
well, how do it's just
it has to make you comfortable. So if you step in a place that has white linen perfectly aligned, you expect the fork to be perfectly aligned, the glass to be perfectly aligned, because you went and you were looking for that because you knew where you were going.
Right.
If I'm going in a place like, one of the place that literally, and I've been around eating, especially eating, Not a lot in the United States, but in Europe, I've been around a lot eating. But one of the places that shocked me, literally, I came back and I was like, holy cow. It was a restaurant in Bestia. The restaurant.
Oh, Bestia, okay. Never been.
So when I was with Boce, the Shimon, the owner of the company, it was like, I need you to go over there. So he paid me a ticket. He paid me a lunch and dinner for 3 restaurants. It was like, I want you to try this place, try this place, try this place. The other place, food's amazing. Some mistakes on the service, blah blah blah. But when I walked into that place, it was crazy. Like, it was a Saturday at 6 with the reservation. We waited 20 minutes. It was packed. There was people jumping over each other to get a drink at the bar. Like, it was crazy. But the environment, it was like, oh my Lord. So if I walk in a place like this, I don't expect the fork to be online.
Correct.
But I do expect a badass short ribs grill. You know what I'm saying? Good. So that, has to match the concept. The food has to match what you are selling. Otherwise, it will always be, no matter how tight the server are, how aligned the fork is, if it doesn't match what it is, it will feel uncomfortable. And that's what I think it makes part of the whole plan. I don't know if I was clear, but
I know, I get that. I feel it's the misconception that it has to be formal, and it does not. In fact, places that I've been to that are too formal, or as far as service, that maybe comes across condescending. I'm thinking that usually happens at restaurants that are not even on the guide.
Exactly.
And I'm thinking,
that
you
doesn't
realize,
match what you
right.
with the food.
No, but
that doesn't match the food that you have.
And it doesn't make you, just because you're making me feel uncomfortable.
For nothing, because the food is not even worth it.
And you're not even like, you're what? You're not even like that kind of restaurant, but acting this way, I'm not coming back. Whereas I've been to other great restaurants that are 3, and I've never felt uncomfortable. It's always about the hospitality, making you feel welcome, and just going out of their way for anything. Kind of like I don't know if you've watched The Bear. Probably not. No. Probably not.
You told me to watch it.
Yeah, I know. But there's a scene about they're in this restaurant, which is supposed to be kind of like a linea, but it was filmed at Ever, and which we were lucky to also go to recently. So it was great for us to be like, actually, our captain, the girl who took care of our table, was in the show. Like, she, in passing, like you only know her. Like, I'm like, oh my God, that's our girl. But it's all about like the little secrets that they use to tell each other. I always talk about that.
Oh my God.
If you're cold, but so they offer you a pashmina, but you never said to the staff that you were cold, but they just knew. How did they know that kind of stuff?
Oh yeah.
But of course it's Hollywood. So they're one of the things is they overheard someone saying, "I can't believe I'm going to leave Chicago and I never had pizza." So they send a guy to run and get a pizza. But of course they take the pizza and they make it all Michelin-y. And but it's, although that's funny and that's just part of the show, but it's the
there is a little truth behind
the mindset
is that
of knowing a well-researched restaurant. And then I went on Reddit, and there were a lot of questions, people asking, well, do restaurants really research their diners and that kind of stuff? And I'm thinking, for the most part, not all of them, but for the most part, it's part of the hospitality. Don't you want to know who's coming in to dine with you and who's a repeat customer? Now, I've been there 20 times. Let's say just any restaurant, you've been there 20 times, and you don't know that this person hates sitting under the AC or whatever it is, hates red wine, or those little things that you
never forget. The basic rule when you see somebody, do never, even if you know him,
right? You
never welcome him as he's been there before. Especially if it's a couple. God knows. He's maybe coming with somebody else.
I never thought about that.
Are you? Seriously, the kind of thing that is behind all this is like...
I never thought about that.
Me too, at first time I was like, wow.
No, because I don't like it when I've been there 20 times and they're like, is this your first time? No, I hate when they're like, is this your first time?
I
get so mad. Because I mean,
it's
I've been here several.
You wait always for them to tell you. I mean, if you've been there 20... Like, if I come in to see my coffee shop, I'm not gonna say, "Oh, is your first time here?"
I'm gonna throw coffee in your face.
But I mean, I'm also in a gas station, but
no,
the thing is,
but I see your point. I see your point.
Never be too confident with the customer, no matter how much they want to. You always have to be like a little bit, because you never know. At one point, it's something that you do, it may turn him off.
That's true,
and
it
you
happens.
Can't afford that in a 2 and 3 Michelin star. You cannot afford that. So
I never thought about it that way. Like, oh, what if that person's been there? I mean, but then it's on them. I don't know, because I like to be welcome back.
But I do think
I don't care to be welcome back at your regular, whatever, which actually does happen, because then you get to know the staff and everyone there. But if it's that kind of restaurant, then I am going to expect.
I mean, it can happen, but going back to what the mission said, and if I can, to what the mission say,
that it's not about the food.
That it's all about the food.
That it's all about the food.
Okay, I believe that the first one it is, and I have examples for when I dine in Italy. Then the first one is all about the food, but then to get to the second and the third, they can put it as you want it.
Right.
They're gonna come. They're gonna judge you how your wall look, how the decoration is, how your server stand, how your all this is part of the judgment. They use that,
and you see that time and time again. If you compare all the 2s and 3s,
in Italy there was a place.
Flawless.
In Italy, there is a place that has a Michelin star, and the owner, which God bless his soul, is not Lorenzo. He's not alive anymore. Now their 2 kids are running it. When he got the Michelin star, he didn't even know what Michelin was. Literally, didn't know what it was.
Yeah, I've heard of that happening.
Yeah. And he has a shack on the beach. Literally, you eat here and you step the last step, and you are on the sand. You hear the wave, and it's like just a shack, crappy window.
Sounds magical.
But the food, holy moly!
I mean, there's a whole politics going into Michelin about they're expanding too fast in the United States. We are not on the same grid as Europe, and I experienced that recently where I did not all the ones, I did several ones, and I came back and I'm thinking, these are the ones. These are the ones. Wow. And then you come back. So that's why I always say, well, not us. Like I always like to judge it just on the United States Michelin, but the whole guide of thinking, I know they're trying to expand. I know they've done, I think Singapore that has a food truck. So they're trying to get out of the mold. And I think here, they're going to add Colorado. They just announced a Georgia guide, maybe expanding a little fast. I don't know. At what point is it becoming too business?
Is it really No, is the thing. Michelin is Michelin because it's been expanding slowly and with a certain criteria. Is it my question is if they're doing that, are they selling out a little bit to the business of being Michelin?
Right.
Because
in the past you didn't have to invest.
Oh, no.
As a city, you didn't have so when they added New York.
I mean, that's new for me.
Right. When they added California and New York, whatever.
When I heard that, I was like,
I mean, if someone knows this answer, let me know. But I believe initially when they did New York and Chicago and California and back then Vegas, they did it, but they chose where they were going. They didn't ask the city of,
that was news for me. So when I heard that,
the whole investing part,
I was like, I'm not sure.
And it's not that I'm against it. Because there is something to be said. I mean, you're bringing them to your town, so I'm okay to a certain degree with a city investing as long as it doesn't have a say, which I don't think it has, and which restaurants get it.
I think we had this conversation before. Probably. The first time then we one of our first coffee, we had it. But as I told you, it's the thing that most surprised me and it make me guess a little bit is the fact that they give 10 Michelin stars the first year.
Right.
You can go in a place, and I'm not saying that those 10 Michelin are not all real 10. I mean, maybe I am saying that.
I already said it.
But what I'm saying is it would be more Michelin
slowly, right?
if they would come.
Well, this year they only added one.
5 and be
they only added one.
Yeah, because they had 10 the first year.
Right, but at least they slowed down.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is 10 of the first year was I would have rather seen, because as I said, you're building a road, and it's good that you find the first 4 or 5, and then everybody followed that direction, and you get 3 more next year, the next year. That makes, I think it's more credible than there is 3 more restaurants that are doing so much better from the first year to get add to it than
right off the bat.
Then right after the bat, you didn't know Miami exists, and then all of a sudden, boom, there's 10 places that are...
Yeah. I think it's going to become a
Worth
game
it?
of retaining,
Yeah.
right? Who's or
I mean,
losing. Like
getting the Michelin star, it's hard. Keeping it, it's harder.
It's even harder. And in the episode I did about reviewing what I thought, I said it was more about what didn't happen than what did happen, because everyone was thinking this and this and this and all these places are, and I'm thinking no, like I'm happy that Miami took a chill, just relax. Yeah. And then now, to be fair, they're saying, oh well, like Tampa stepped it up. No, those restaurants were there last year.
Yeah.
It's just that I feel like they were like, okay, we did Miami.
No, we did. Why not we do Tampa?
We left Tampa out last year, and maybe Orlando a little bit.
Let Miami stew a little.
Let Miami, yeah. I feel like next year is a very telling year. I feel year 5 will be really telling.
And honestly, I think then whoever has a Michelin star,
to retain it.
Obviously, they have to push for the second one, but they have to celebrate the fact that they still have one.
Yes.
Every year.
I think some restaurants are feeling like a little jaded already.
It's not it's
not a given. It's not a given.
No, but it's not a given to keep it. And it's not a failure to don't get the second one.
Same.
Absolutely.
Same. You're keeping it. You know how many restaurants wish they had one?
The chef where I worked in Italy, Valeria, every year in November, she was like, oh my God, are we going to still have 2?
Right.
I'm like, Valeria, if they take it from you, they got to take it from half of Italy. So, but she was still like in that, and she was celebrating. She had still 2 Michelin stars. And I'm like, celebrate, you have it and nobody's going to take it from you. But the mindset was like to be always on the edge, but not, you got to always push.
Yeah.
But celebrate the fact that you have it.
I agree.
Because it's a lot to keep it.
I agree.
First Michelin star, and you mentioned that you went in Italy and a lot of 1 Michelin star were a lot better than a 2.
Than the
you
3s.
Know why?
Yeah.
Than 3s. You know why?
Why?
Because they push so hard to get one. They're so on point.
Yeah.
And sometimes the 3s or the second, they're
stagnant. They're like, I was just blown away.
They're more expert. They know who can be. I remember, like, when I was there, Valeria was like, that guy's suspicious.
I feel there's a lot of that going on now. I'd probably drive, if I had a restaurant right now, I'd be going crazy.
That guy's suspicious.
The intel I would have on everybody. I'd be like...
If you have a minute, I'll tell you a story, then it's going to make you laugh.
Yeah.
So one day a guy came, and I was in Caino, this place in Italy. So the town is like 300 people.
Oh, I love that.
85 years old average. Like everybody knows everybody. If somebody that never been there stepped in, even we're going to Caino.
Right.
Or
you're the tourist or you're suspicious.
Like, who are you? So this guy come in like...
Alone?
An hour before the closing.
Okay.
And the restaurant was almost empty. And he sat down and she looked at him. She was like, this guy, I don't like this guy. So she was like, make sure that everything is on point, because she had something, then she had to go. So the whole team was like on edge, trying to make this guy. So this guy sat down, very lay off. He was like, I'm just gonna let you know, I'm a hard smoker, so maybe I'm gonna stop because he did the tasting menu, which was like 8 courses.
Right. And at the end of the night,
I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna go smoke a cigarette if that's okay for you. If you guys gotta go, just let me know. I'll jump one of them.
Right.
I jumped one.
Okay.
No, it was very nice.
That is very nice.
Good wine. He did the tasting menu. She was like, this guy is. So we treat him like with the extra white gloves. Like if it's even possible, we put an extra white gloves, right? The guy step out before the dessert. He's like, I'm gonna go smoke my last cigarette, then I get dessert. I'm gonna let you go. Like so polite, right? He stepped out, and 5 minutes he wouldn't come back. 10 minutes he wouldn't come back. Turn out this guy, and
he was a scammer.
He was a scammer.
Oh, shoot.
He left, not paying the check. He met the chef in the plaza, which there is a little plaza with like a few benches where all the old people were sitting, and he said hi to the chef. My compliment, the food was amazing, blah blah blah, and he left. She came, and her husband, which was pissed.
Oh my God.
Was like, she was like, so how did it go? He's like, what do you mean how did it go? I'm on the phone with the police.
Oh my
He
gosh.
left without paying.
Oh my God.
Like a $300 check.
Of course.
And And turned out he did that before in other Michelin star restaurants. Like it
They
was
have
like
to
a
have-
professional scammer.
They have to have his
But,
picture.
oh my God.
Instead of like the who are the reviewers' pictures that
you
have
think
his
you
picture.
know he's at the table, but you don't really know.
Oh my God.
You never know.
Right. I mean,
That
maybe
was
back
crazy.
then it's easier now to look up an email address or look
Yeah.
up a
Oh, no, yeah.
face or
Hospitality. It's
the hospitality.
The
That's-
hospitality. It's something that you have inside.
Yeah.
If
It's
you
true.
have it, you have it. And Europe, it has a older history about this, so they're
Right.
more used to it. You
Right.
know that when you go to
Like
work
you
for
said, it's a
hospitality, you need to
career.
have certain like way to talk to people. Not like here.
Does that go hand in hand with being paid appropriately too here in Miami though? Because right, we have a lot of hey, I'm just gonna do this job
Yes.
while I'm looking for my whatever acting job or modeling
This
job or
is-
whatever.
this is-
So it's not a culture thing. It's kind of like you need to pay appropriately so you could train them appropriately.
Listen, when
so
the
they're
COVID
happy.
when COVID happened and the cooks were look when you need now you need $20 to get like a line cook,
Mm-hmm.
which I myself with my resume 9 years ago was making 13 and it was a
Yeah.
well-paid job. So I think it does affect a lot of the small business and the one that are trying to cut on quality get affected by that because
Right.
you do more number, so you do more table.
How do you train
You
and
need
keep-
more people,
Right.
and you gotta pay a lot, right?
Yeah.
But it is, I think it works in favor of restaurant trying to make quality because now whoever goes in that, it goes in that knowing that can be a career. Because if I can make $20 per hour,
Right.
I can build a career.
Yes.
I can be like, okay, if I make 20 now, I can be an executive chef and make like $100,000, $150,000, whatever it is. But when they walk in on a $13 paycheck, you can't pretend then they leave out of that.
Right.
So I think it's been like a cut, and now wherever it goes on the other side, it's who actually really wants to be in the kitchen.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like
So
talking
that
about
works for quality.
that girl who's captain at Ever. This is not her part-time job.
Yeah,
it's a whole culture. It's a whole. It's almost like a cult. Like it's an obsession of like the perfection and reaching like I don't know if they're gonna do it, but I would love forever to get 3, stars. And that's their mindset is and
just
it's a
keep going.
team effort. It's not just she's not just there like oh yeah okay I'm leading this. She eats, breathes, everything. This restaurant.
I'm going back. I mean, we're talking mission, so I go back
Right.
always to the place where I worked
Of
when
course.
I was in Italy. But as I was saying, we had 9 tables, and we only had a
That's
1
it.
hour break at lunch, and we were there like 14 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
Now looking back, I'm like, what the hell were we doing?
What were you doing?
We were
Right.
serving 18 people top
Right.
a night.
Yeah.
But you have no idea the amount of little stuff. Like if I show you a picture, you're like, you crazy. You were doing this kind of stuff. Like there was a dish that had a bouquet made out of 4 sticks of celery. Cut the right size because they had to fit in the pasta and come out just the right amount, tied with chives and sardine. Each dish get 8 of those little things.
Who cuts it? Who ties it?
You gotta cut it, you gotta tie it, you gotta
Right.
keep it dry, you gotta for one dish.
For one dish, right?
Like we had a dish then to build it took 4 minutes to build one dish. Every time they were ordering this dish,
You're like, oh, here we
people
go.
are like,
Here
you
we
gotta
go.
be killing me.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's the dedication is like,
Yeah,
how do
the
you, and then
details.
in that hour extra, what we do, we stay there, we try a new dish. I mean, most of the time we eat with each other and we talk and blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Right.
But it's like you just get involved in this universe
Right,
then
this world,
just eats you up and
Yeah.
you don't know, nothing else exists. There was no need to go out on Saturday night.
Right.
I was not looking out to go out on Saturday night. I mean, even if I want, closest tower was like 20 miles away.
Right.
But
Right.
like it's just like.
But that's when I say fine dining. That's what I'm referring to.
That's the
where
main
a lot of
like-
people think when I say fine dining, I'm just referring to a white tablecloth and frou-frou service, and that is not what I'm talking about.
No, you can have fine dining.
I'm talking about appreciating that.
Yeah, exactly.
The celery flower. The
That
bouquet.
love shows the fact that like every dish that we were making every time then you try, and I did that too in my little world. everywhere I worked, I give 110%. If I make a dish, I gotta make it right. I couldn't sleep. Like, sometimes when we were in Nave, I was talking to Justin and I was like, you know what I would like to do? I would like to do this and this. But by the time I told him, I already did all the prep. So 20 minutes later, I show up. I'm like, try it. He's like, what? I'm like, yeah, I've been thinking about it. I've been getting ready about it. And now I'm just letting you know. And because I have no patience for that. I want to just keep pushing. That's why I pulled myself out of it, because I didn't have that fire in me anymore.
Right.
Because I had my mind with, like my,
Life.
Again, we evolved.
Right.
And like, I was like, it's not fair, because I know that I can do better. So if I don't do it, that's not fair.
It's on you. Yeah,
and
you know it.
Now with Effe, I'm doing the same thing. I'm like, every minute that I'm there, I'm thinking about how I make it bigger, how I make it better, what kind of sandwich can I make tomorrow.
Well, it shows.
No matter how small it is.
The details show.
No matter what you do. No matter if you work... I tell that to... I think that's a good teaching lesson that my family teach me. Wherever you do, if it's pick up garbage, do it the right way. Be proud of what you do, and you'll be happy. That's it. I'm working in a gas station. I'm making sandwich, and I know...
And you're killing
that
it.
is nothing out of the universe, but I know that every single one of these sandwiches, I gave my 100%.
And you're
I
proud.
didn't cheat.
Proud of
I didn't
what you're
cheat
giving.
on it,
Right. You're
if
proud
you
of what you're
don't cheat on
giving.
the product, then you're honest. Then people can like it or not. But at least this is what I got. If you don't like it, well, I have to suggest you to go somewhere else, because that
try another gas station. Good luck with that. What are some of your when dining out? What are some of your pet peeves?
What are some of my what?
Like pet peeves, things that annoy you.
I like, as I say, I like honesty. If I go in a place and I expect, then I know what I'm going through. I'm not a picky eater in the sense that I don't go only in a place that makes good food or only in a trash food place. Like I eat everything. As I said, I ate an empanada this morning. It was not even that good, but I ate it. It was fine. It worked fine with my café con leche. But if I go somewhere and I know and I expect then you're good at this, I like for you to be good at this. I don't go in a place then I know they're probably in that's not their biggest strength, and ask for that dish and then be like, oh, but that dish stinks. I'm like, why would you do that? Why you go in a steakhouse and ask for
fish or whatever, the other way around?
Ask for spaghetti clams. You know what I mean? Like, there's some dishes that I don't order ever in a restaurant, ever, because I'm so picky about it. I cared so much that I'm not going to order. I make my own spaghetti clams when I want to eat it.
You're saving yourself the trouble of sending.
I'm going there and I'm not gonna be happy with it.
Right.
So why bother? But beside that, I like hospitality. I like when you, as you said, when you go in a place and they care about you, but genuinely, not to make. I hate when the server. Okay, let me tell you something. I really hate.
Whatever you're gonna say, yes, I agree.
When the server come and it's just trying to make a tip. Oh my lord!
Yeah,
I hate it. But if you're generally like I went the other day with my kids at Cheesecake Factory, right? That server was amazing, but she was like generally happy to be there.
Right.
Maybe she wasn't, but if she wasn't, she lied really well.
Yeah.
Because it was
her energy was probably like just
her energy was just so positive.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, what you want? The kids, the pasta, the tomato. Yeah. And I was like, oh my god, look, she's really good.
Yeah.
She is good.
Yeah.
And this is something that I like. I like to feel cozy. You go somewhere, feel comfortable.
I hate when they read me the menu.
Oh boy.
Like, so have you been here before? No. Okay, so let me tell you about the menu, and then they read every single. I have to stop. I'm like,
nah.
I can read.
I can read.
But then
I read it myself.
It's kind of like it's kind of.
Have you ever been in a place and you ask, so what would you suggest? And they suggest always the most expensive.
The $41 entree. Yeah. I like when I look and it's not, and then they say it and it's not the most expensive one. I'm like, okay, so maybe she isn't lying, he isn't lying.
I went into a place in Italy and a small town where we lived actually. And this restaurant had a 3-page menu with lobster and stuff. I'm like,
oh, so much.
I've seen your kitchen.
Right.
You don't have lobster.
Right.
Those has to be frozen.
Right, of course.
Which, okay, you want to sell frozen lobster? I'm okay with it. don't charge $35 for it. You know what I mean? Don't charge $40 for it. Like, you're cheating on people. I hate that. Like, I read the menu. It's something I'm really good at it. If I read a menu and I look at the place, I can tell you if it's something we should go for it or nah, give it out.
Forget that,
Like, you see those places that have like
20,
you're right. Like
a
10-feet kitchen and like 2 cooks inside, and they have like a 20-page menu.
Yeah, like how it's too ambitious for what it is. Right.
Like,
where's the quality?
Where is the quality? They cannot be quality. But I understand that comes from the fact that I've been in the kitchen since I was 14. So sometimes I have an extra eye, and like, I'm sure like me, all the other chefs, they have the same thing. You look at it and you're like, this can be right.
Right. A typo.
Yeah. It's not good.
What are some, we talked about, let's go back to Effe. What are some items that have emerged as fan favorites? I have an answer, but I want you to answer.
All right. Well, I can tell you that honestly, all the menu, it's the menu is.
It's not a 3-page menu.
It's not a 3-page menu. It's whatever I can do because everything is cooked over there. So and this is something I'm very proud of. You gotta wait. You wait. Yeah. And if you're not willing to wait, that means that you don't understand the fact that I'm cooking it now.
Yeah. Right.
So that means that you're probably not gonna like what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But anyway. Breakfast, everything that comes on our sourdough bread, it's one of the biggest sellers. Like, now we start with 1 toast, now we have 4. Most likely we're gonna add the 2 more when I reopen after summer because we're closed until the 27th. But yeah, everything that comes on our sourdough, I think a lot of people, sale wise, our croissants and whatever it's baked goods, it sell like really well. But again, now I'm in a position where I'm stuck because all of that are gonna make somebody. If I change any of that, people are gonna be unhappy.
Yes.
But I have to change because I'm kind of like, I wanna change stuff.
That pork sandwich you had me try the other day.
As far as the hot menu, pork sandwich is the one. Then we did as a special. When you do a special and it's good, everybody's telling you, oh, this should be in the menu. But then you put it in the menu. It works for 1 week.
Well, I had an order. I said, what should I order? And then you said, have you had the pork? I'm like, no. And you're like,
I was like, that's not a question.
Oh my God, it was so good.
So the pork sandwich, we did this pork sandwich once as a special.
But you put like kimchi? What did you put?
Yeah, we make our own kimchi.
So good.
Yeah. It's basically a mojo marinated pork. We roast it very slowly. Then we pull it. It's seared on the plancha, so it's nice and crispy. A little bit of garlic powder, lime juice, and then it's served on a Kaiser roll with house-made kimchi and the papitas.
I'm getting extra kimchi next time.
So the kimchi,
so good.
The kimchi, like first time we did it as a special, and I was like, kimchi takes like 6 to 7 days to be ready. I'm like, I'm not gonna plan a special a week in advance. So we bought some kimchi from the Banh Mi 954, the one that is next to Futa, which is a great place. And I like that kimchi. So I was like,
have you tried those Korean hot dogs? I know. Okay, so good.
I tried everything.
That place is
amazing.
I live
right there. I live a block away.
Okay.
I can literally with my bicycle, take me 2 minutes to be there.
Okay.
But anyway.
So you bought from them?
Yeah. I bought the kimchi from them because I like that kimchi and I made the sandwich.
Very good.
That was one of the sandwich. Then myself, I had it. And I was like, this is going in the menu. But this is going in the menu like now. So I went to the shop. I buy everything to make kimchi. I generally Googled the recipe to kimchi. And then I tricked it a little bit.
You did the
I made my part. Because me being me, I couldn't be buying kimchi.
Right.
This is how I am. Like if I do it like once a friend of mine was like, you should put some salsa with the burrito. I'm like, and then I'm gonna end up making salsa.
Making the salsa.
I'm so slammed with all the prep. That's what I told him. He was like, you see, this is what you're different. I would buy salsa already made. I'm like,
no, you have to make it. I also had the random things I love. The shrimp tostada.
Tostadas are becoming like.
Oh, but that shrimp tostada was so good. Oh my God, it was so good. And I love. I'm usually just like, I get all the sweet and savory stuff, And when I don't show up, it's because I'm trying not to be like 100,000 pounds.
I'm From the sweet to the banana bread, it's been there since day one, and it's
the
like
rum
a
cake's
genuinely
my
good
favorite.
banana bread. Rum cake is really good. Like, this is the thing, they all sell really well. But what I can say is that the croissant, I'm really happy with it.
Yes, croissants are good.
And the croissants start as a joke.
The guava and brie.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
My favorite.
Croissants are really good. Yeah. Bread, sourdough. I really like our sourdough.
Very good.
I think we have a really good product with this.
It's the whole thing, because then with the coffee and it's...
Oh, yeah. It just works.
It's unexpected and it works. And
if you notice in our menu, there's a lot of name.
Yes, you name something after some of your regulars.
Because it's literally like the Nunzio toast. I could call it avocado toast.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And Patty's chicken salad.
This is literally what I get for breakfast when I'm home on Sunday. So I was like, let's call it Nunzio toast.
You should.
And Patty chicken salad, because it's my wife's chicken salad. So it's
that's the one I get the most, I think.
That tells you then it's like, it's literally what we eat, the way that we eat it. Which can be good or not, but if we make it for ourselves, we make it good, right? When you do something for yourself, you make it good. So this is the best. It tells you that this is the best we can do. So there's a lot of name in the menu. The Marcus toast.
I want to see the face of someone who, I'm sure happens to you several times a week, someone who just comes in to get a Snickers bar.
Oh yeah,
but then they're kind of like, can I just get a chicken salad? And then they're kind of like, what's this gourmet thing? What's taking so long?
We have a lot. No, you know what we have a lot? Sorry, believe it or not, like our review are pretty good, and the word of mouth is crazy. So people are like, "Oh, you gotta go this place, you gotta go this place, you gotta go this place."
Yeah.
But then they show up and they're like, "This is it.
This is it."
You know, everybody's expecting like nice, beautiful setup,
with
little
cafe
table. Which, don't get me wrong, I would love to have it, but I don't have it now. So when people come and they see that, they're a little bit turned off. They're like, really? And then they're like, yes, I'm getting the Nunzio toast because they told me it's really good. And then they have it. They're like, are you
and they don't
kidding me?
Right.
I get a lot of this. I get a lot of people that are like, especially with the coffee, because we don't flavor coffee. Mm-hmm. I'm a truly believer on not flavored coffee because I like coffee so much. And our coffee is so good. Then I'm like, I don't want to be one of those people who does the caramel and they put all those sugar. Then I'm like, ugh. Yeah. So we never did. We will never do. Once we will, it's because we make our own syrup, we make our own paste, we make our own, and then we do it.
If we ever see it, we know it's made homemade.
So this is our biggest issues. Then we have people coming like, can I have a mocha this, a caramel that,
caramel frappe?
And I'm like, sorry, we don't. So I had one customer like this, and then he ended up was like, oh, whatever. I already made the line. Like you could have read in his face, like, all right, I already made the line.
So he made the line.
Let me have a plain croissant.
The menu is like literally right in front of you.
Yeah, and he came and he's like, do you have caramel or mocha? And I was like,
God.
No. And I made the joke, there were other cups. So I made the joke. I was like, our coffee's too good. We can't flavor. And he didn't get the joke. Like, he took it personal. I was like, But then it's like, all right, whatever. I already made the line. Like, he didn't say it, but you could have read it in his eyes. Yeah. It's like, let me have a plain croissant. He got that plain croissant. Guess what? 2 days after, he came back and he got another plain croissant. And then another plain croissant. And then he was like, one day, he finally said, well, let me try that coffee of yours, then it's so good. And now he tried the half of the menu. And those are my favorite customers.
Awesome.
Because you genuinely win them over with quality. Like he tried that croissant and he forced himself to come back just because the croissant was so good.
Right.
And this is the kind of customer that we build a little bit at the time in the year.
And you've done a great job with that. What are your short-term plans for Effe, for you and Patty, and then the long-term plans, say 5 years, 6-7 years from now?
All right. When we reopen, we open Effe both time with a kind of like a, well, that's my only option. I mean, the second time now Patty, she's helping me. My wife, she's helping me with all the pastry. And the recipe are all hers, but she's not that anymore because she works.
Because she's the
executive chef of Joe DiMaggio Hospital.
Woo!
So she has a bigger plan. She wants to change kids' life when they go to eat in a hospital, which is great. And but for me, once we close, I didn't have much option because for me, going back to work as a chef, as I said, was out of the option. I couldn't have a job, obviously. If I would apply, I wouldn't have a job. but the hours were working for me. So let's say that both times, then we reopen it. We open it a little bit with the back on the wall. So we reopen it. We were like, let's run it with the waves. Wherever it takes us, we go. We did make sure that we sign a 5+ years contract this time, because I don't want to be kicked out next time somebody shows up.
Yeah.
But the shorter term with Effe is just to make it better and better and better. The place is really small, so increasing it's like hard, especially the way that we want to increase. We don't want to, like, I could sell probably a extra 100 coffee a day if I put caramel and Splenda everywhere.
Right.
That's not what I'm gonna do.
Right.
So it's really hard. We have a couple of ideas to expand, maybe some grab and go, maybe some delivery, but it's hard because the space is small.
Yeah.
And we can. It's already difficult to hire people. We can't hire too many because it's a small business.
It is a small,
this is my cut. Like, if I pay 3 employees, I don't make my cut out of it. So
no, and you're literally doing everything right there.
Yes, and we do it every day.
Yeah.
We don't have a provider. My only provider I have is the one that bring me the coffee and the coffee machine and everything. But beside that, I gotta go and shop. I gotta go and shop every day because we don't have storage. So I buy, prep it, sell it. When it's done, I buy again, prep it, and sell it. Which, for people that know how a restaurant works, you know that this is a circle and it's hard to keep.
Right.
Yes, the quality of the product obviously is better because we don't have a freezer. So you can even if you want, you can cheat.
Right.
But it's hard to keep like a higher production and all that. That's why we always go out with the croissant, and I feel it. Because a lot of people get left out, and I feel it for them, but I'm also like...
Yeah, you can only do so many.
What can I do? Like, this is what we do. So short term is to try to make it better, maybe hire... for sure I want to hire a person that can help me out. Yeah. Keep touching Effe the way it is now. I mean, a long term, my dream is to have an Effe Cafe.
Right.
Like
a brunch, lunch, breakfast kind of place. Yeah.
Like same way that we're doing now, just a little bit bigger, so that
extra
I can
seating. Right.
With seating, you come, always the counter service, but then with tables. So if you want, you can sit, you can enjoy the food, and when you have that, then you can make a larger product. You know what I'm saying? Like the cappuccino makes more sense in a cup.
Different.
A lot of stuff. So this is where we're going. But as I said, we are hard-headed. We're not gonna settle. So
it's not hard-headed. You just care.
Yeah, I care too much, and I don't want to settle for like a lower quality or a lower.
Yeah, and you shouldn't. Yeah, you've gotten this far by being this way.
That's what I'm saying.
So why you're not gonna change now?
We got there. We just gotta think about it, make sure that we go next step, and then we go next step. Life it's I'm still 30.
Yeah, they will steer you. 37.
38.
You're still a baby.
Oh, boy.
What do you want listeners to know about that I have not already covered, that we have not already covered?
We covered a lot.
I know.
That was a nice chat. But no,
this is what we do while people are waiting. No, people are waiting for their coffee.
Exactly. Every time you come, we have a chat
I'm like
hey.
This. No, I always come at the end, so it's gonna.
We have more time.
Shoo.
That's why we can always talk more.
Yeah.
But no, I generally want for people to know, whoever support Effe, then we appreciate it like immensely what they did. I can tell you that the day that we reopened the second time, it was on a Thursday. I got goosebumps. Every single person that I knew their name, that was our customer before, were in line waiting 20 minutes for a sandwich. Then I looked at them. I was like, I wouldn't wait 20 minutes for my own sandwich. Yeah. And those people are in line waiting for.
And you're good because you never look flustered. How do you do that?
That is hard.
I'm flustered. I'm flustered for you.
Let me tell you something. That is the hardest part.
I told Noah the other day. I said,
sometimes I want a wall.
Oh, a wall so they don't see you?
I want to close and close just so I can scream.
So you can scream. Sometimes one of the times I went, there were so many people there, and when it was my turn, I ordered something super simple. because there were so many people behind me, and Noah said, screw that. Our friend, our mutual friend Noah, he said, screw that. You order you. And I said, I legit felt bad that if I ordered,
then people has to wait.
Order for you, because I know that I go all the time. So I felt bad for you that if I ordered something, now you're gonna have to make my thing, and the people. But he's right. I should have just ordered whatever I wanted. But I felt bad, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna make.
Now talking about about improving.
Yeah.
This is something then I see, like our sale get affected by the fact that if we have a longer line, people could generally get like, oh my god, I gotta order 4 sandwich. This guy is gonna kill me.
I felt bad, but I can never see it in your face though. It's what I'm saying. Maybe because you turn around quick. But
I'm so running, then you can probably
not because of me. Just meaning I'm thinking like, wow, I hear what people are ordering. I'm thinking, wow. And you're just there like, flipping the burger.
Honestly, because I'm generally having fun.
Yeah, you're just like
I'm
get the bread, toast the bread. Like you're just going through the motions like nothing.
When the place is low, I'm like,
yeah.
And it's not only because of the sale. I mean, it's not that I'm getting frustrated because, oh my god, we didn't make enough sale today. I'm generally like,
you want to be able to serve it quicker. Yeah, I get it.
We need people. You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
So I'm generally having fun when I'm there. Like, so that's why I'm probably like I'm happy when we're busy. I'm happy, and it's because something that you get in the zone. It's something you build yourself, and you want to see it successful.
You've been doing good. I'm so proud of you guys. And I'm so happy to let everyone know. So now you're gonna get more when this comes out. Yeah, when you reopen.
We reopen this Thursday.
Soon, in a couple weeks. Right?
We are reopening this Thursday.
Right. Okay, so already 21st.
Yeah, it's 21st.
Well, Nunzio, thank you so much for coming on the podcast to chat with me. And for you, the listener, thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Send me your thoughts, ideas, likes, or even gripes. I know you don't have those. I love hearing from you all. thewhetpalette@gmail.com. That's it for today. From my palette to yours. Cheers. Thank you, Nunzio.
Thank you, Brenda.
Woo!
Bye.
See you soon.